Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Alisha Brasher here at Cosmic Gateway, and I'm joined by my soul family to bring you an impromptu live roundtable. So welcome, everyone. I am joined here by Jonny, Nick, Ana, and Donovan. So, hey, everyone, welcome. Come in. I'm just going to do my multitasking, Nick, right now. But welcome, everyone. So appreciative of everyone being here, and some of you in very last minute. So I'm looking forward to where we're going to go with this. Sorry, I've got Luna in the background. She wants to be heard. So we're probably going to cover off on a wide range of topics. I couldn't even tell you what. I can't even summarize it because we haven't even planned tonight, and that's just how we roll. But welcome, everyone. How are you all feeling? How the lockdown vibes treating you all? And we'll touch on that for a little bit, and then we'll just jump right off and go into some cool topics.
I feel fabulous, which is funny because I should be going nuts and getting in trouble and being a pain to society. But I'm pretty chilled. I'm feeling good. I'm enjoying my time with the kids and jumping on things like this. Yeah, I'm actually doing pretty good with it. It's intense, but I'm learning to deal with these things.
Beautiful to hear, Nick.
Yeah. It might be different tomorrow morning. This can change by the hour, right?
Not even the hour sometimes.
You never know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
I was cruising today and feeling good. I'm like, Jonny and I were messaging, and it's like, that's not my reality. I don't care what's in the paper. And I went to do some food shopping this afternoon, and being the only person at the whole centre without a mask on, I did have a security guard following me. And initially I smiled and I'm like, friendly, I don't care if you wear a mask, just don't come at me. Anyway, he followed me around, and wow, my mood flipped. And several times he attempted to walk towards me to say something about not wearing a mask. And at that time, I'm like, bring it on. But I calmed down. I had to calm down. What's happened? I've lost you guys. Is it just me?
Yeah, it's just you.
Oh.
We're all still here.
You're all on your lonesome.
It's a sign I'm not supposed to talk about COVID.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Mic drop. Speaking of mic drop, I need to bring mine in closer. How are you boys, Donovan and Jonny?
You go, Jonny.
Oh mate, I'm doing good. I'm enjoying. I mean, tell you the truth, lockdown doesn't change anything for me. I seem to work just as hard during lockdowns. As a matter of fact, probably harder. So for me, I do enjoy, having more weekend time to myself and just doing my own thing. I think it's a good time to kind of, for me, I see lockdown as my time to do damage, to come up with something new, to create something, to do something that's going to create some sort of make some sort of a difference in the world, no matter how small. I'm going to use that time to do that. And that's how I make it palatable to me. And yeah, it's you can use it a lot. It's a very powerful time to go inwards, I think.
Yeah.
That's what we used to say, Alisha. Last year was like one of the best years for us because we used it.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And in all honesty, I was thinking about this roundtable because at the moment I'm very human, and I'm enjoying my humanness. I was telling Jonny before we got on and went live, and I was reflecting on what I was going to talk about. I was like, I don't think I have anything to contribute, to be honest. I mean, I do, but I was like, my thought process around this particular recording or live was that I was just kind of going to facilitate, open the space and let you guys go and just kind of put in my, my 2 cents here and there. But one thing that I was thinking about yesterday, prior to this, more thinking about this online gathering with you beautiful souls, was lockdown is amazing. Like, it does amazing things for people, even through the hardships. Like, we wouldn't be having all the changes that we're seeing through our individual lives and also on a collective level if it wasn't for all of this. So there's a lot to be grateful for. I can say that honestly in my life and when I look around at other people's lives. So the inconvenience, as human beings, we're pretty stubborn when it comes to change and doing things that we know we should be doing. And when something like this comes around and we're forced into that, reflection, that's kind of where the magic happens, right?
Less doing and more being, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, but now, like we said, we've been forced into it now, and it's a good thing. It's definitely not all bad.
So really serving a purpose. Isn't that such a theme since 2020, since lockdowns began? That very quickly people that feel like they've got a mission, suddenly realize what a gift it was. Yeah. Because we were always so distracted with other stuff. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not doing anything. Well, what am I left with? Just get on with what I'm here to do, which is very much what Johnny was saying, working harder during lockdown than you would otherwise because you're so laser point focused because you're in and it's just you and your environment, and I kind of love how that's like always seeing the gift in the chaos, And for me, thinking about you guys in Melbourne, because we're still lucky in Canberra, right? We still haven't had a full lockdown since early 2020, right? And I know I feel into that, and I feel that's because we're very protected because of the people that are here and the dynamic of what we actually are. What I would term as a deep state headquarters for the globe. But anyway, that's another story. And I'm getting a lot of messages about that and noticing things I hadn't noticed before, which are confirming that for me 100%. But I woke up the other morning with the song, "It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine." And I thought, yeah, right. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. And it's like, that's this experience, like this reality that you can choose. It's like for some people, lockdown is a real pain in the ass and it's painful. For other people, they're just like, this is an opportunity, Yeah. This is an opening for me. And it's to get me focused and certainly also go within a bit. And I just thought about how there's so many people having the experience. It's the end of the world as we know it, i.e. the old paradigms just falling away. And I feel fine while we're in the transition. And that's how I've been feeling pretty much since 2020.
Nice.
Love it, Donovan. Love it.
I've been listening to that song for the last couple of months. Like with the theme. I'm like, yeah, like with the same sort of theme.
Right.
Yeah.
And being REM, rapid eye movement, that's a dream state.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. I just quickly, once I started waking up with that song, I'm like, what? Who did that again? Oh, that's right, REM. Oh, that's a dream brainwave state, REM, rapid eye movement. I was like, how appropriate. Thank you for that message.
Well, that brings in the only thing that I wanted to bring up.
Dreams.
Dream space at the moment. Anna and I were talking this morning. I'm in a very interesting space, trying to navigate a new interesting space for me, and I think this is going to be a permanent one. This stage or phase is going to be a permanent one, and it's an in-between. But what seems to be the merging of dream space and reality at the moment, and the synchronicities, Johnny, that are happening through, like, I'm okay, I won't share the entire dream, but I'm not remembering or not recalling a huge amount of detail in my dream spaces, probably for a couple of weeks. But the portions or the fractions that I do remember are literally materializing in my physical reality within 48 hours in the most bizarre ways. I was sharing with you, Donovan, the other night on the phone. Like, I'll give you an example. One was based around like making a salad roll, and it was white bread. It was very specific. Don't think I've eaten a white bread roll in a couple of decades, nor bought one. And then 2 days later, I go into the bakery to buy my usual bread, and they're like, oh, if you spend X amount of dollars, you get to spin the wheel and get a free prize. And I was like, whoa, free prize? Spin the freaking wheel and it lands on free 6 white bread rolls. I'm like, what? And that's just one very, very small example of pretty much a continuation of these like merging of like just images or like themes, but it's very specific detail of things in my dream space and then boom, appearing in physical reality. And I was telling Anna, I had this happen after my Kundalini awakening at the end of 2016, where I was having this happen like all the time. And then it's happening again. And I'm like scratching my head, trying to kind of make sense of it, but trying to observe it and not really care. And the example that I shared with Anna was like, I had this really vivid dream one night that I was on this island in this bar, beautiful bar island. I don't know where it was. I called it a New Earth dream. And there was 2 guys there. One was the bartender and one was a guy who bought me a drink. And that was really it. I woke up and within half an hour, my doorbell rings. It's the plumber, and he was the bartender from my dream. I was tripping out, right? and then an hour after that, I go down to my local cafe to buy a coffee, and I walk in, and there's this guy sitting there, smiling at me, and kind of raised his hand and waved at me as though he knew me. I'd never seen him in my life, but it was the guy from my dream who bought me a drink. And I just kind of went really uncomfortably, just went, and I just kept going. And I mean, there was nothing really significant about those 2 guys, like, you know, that I've never had any interactions with them since. But what I took away from that was that I can trust what comes through in my dreams as real, because it's showing up in the physical, or it's showing, how do I say this? It's showing the lack of lag time, if you will, between energetic, not astral, but, you know, like dream space, higher dimension reality coming or collapsing down into physical reality. Because normally there's a bit of a lag time between, say, a prophetic dream or something that we're trying to create or manifest coming into the physicality, but it feels like it's boom, 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 boom. So I just wanted to share that and then put it out to you guys for thoughts, or if you're having similar experiences or anything to add around that.
I've had some crazy dreams lately that have come true in real life, and for 2 weeks now I haven't been able to remember my dreams. I'm like, oh, I'm bored with sleep time. Where are my dreams? So it's like, I know I've had really busy dreams, but I can't remember details. But what week is it? What day is it today? It's Monday. Last week I did have dreams that did come into real life, which I won't mention. But huh?
Well, oh, sorry. I was going to
No.
bait you then. I just realized I'm not going to bait you.
No. So 2 dreams that did come into reality. But I was saying to Alisha this morning as well, it's like, I'm having thought processes which I would call imagination. It's like, you know, when your mind just wanders and you're imagining things, but actually it's not, because then it happens like a couple of hours later. So now I've got to be really cautious about what's running through my head. Like, am I manifesting this? Like, I've had people come back into my life that I've not thought of in so long, and then I was thinking about them, and then, you know, 2 or 3 hours later they contact you. It's like, what's happening here? Like, are we giving a heads up, or are we tapping into the future events, bringing it back to this reality?
We're creating it, I reckon.
Well, I'd like to create
manifestation is so, it's so fast.
So fast, yeah.
It's actually scary how fast it is.
Mm.
You can imagine that in the spirit realm, like they say that things manifest really quickly. Like the moment you think it, it's manifested. Now, if people had that power here, can you imagine how bad the world would be?
Right.
All good. I don't know. Right now, I don't know how the world would look if everyone could manifest at that rate.
It wouldn't be good.
We'd all have the barcode on us already.
You know what? My theory is that's why ascension and awakening process is so brutal, is to purify us so that we can get into this space that we're talking about, a pure, instant manifestation, without it being absolute catastrophic disaster. Because we're purified the thought process, like the mental, the emotional, and ridded ourselves of a lot of our, healed ourselves of a lot of trauma, so that we can be in a pure place that is co-creational and that is for the highest good of ourselves and everyone else around us, and humanity. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I feel like with the melding of dream space into reality, which then often will present itself as synchronicities for me, like in my experience, right? And synchronicity can be so fast, and so it can actually be really chaotic, right? And I know, like Alisha, I was talking to you about this yesterday or something, that sometimes you have a 2-hour period and it's just so ridiculously fast, you wouldn't be able to recall and communicate to someone all the things that lined up with every conversation you've had, every word you've spoken, every dream you've had, every meditation vision you had or experienced, like you heard something on the telly and then that meant, right? And just everything. And it's like, sometimes you have a period of time where you're just like, you're just watching it play out. And you're just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Right? And you're in this world of just going like, and it always makes me think a lot about the fact that, well, not the fact, I always say the fact that it's not a fact, it's just my feeling that our reality mirrors back to us what we are more than what we desire, so whatever you're vibrating will be mirrored and vibrated back to you in your reality, and so, but for dream space, like for me, Nick, you'll love this. One of my favorite movies is Inception. It's probably my favorite movie of all time. And I started at 4:30 this morning, and then I came home and I had to sleep. And when I had to sleep, I had a dream, and I dreamt of you and Dale. And Alisha was there, and I was in a vehicle, kind of like a love van, like a bus. But I was talking to you and Dale, and in the dream that I was having, I was describing to you guys how I dreamed about you.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's like second level Inception.
That's trippy shit. I mean,
and that was so that was so cool to me. And I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of getting used to this. Like it feels very natural.
Do you know what's really interesting, Donovan? I had my first Inception dream last year. I remember it because I was like, wow, that was the first time I've ever had that. And I wrote it down, and Dale was in it. And it was layered dream within dream within dream. And I came out of it and I was like, oh, I have to actually write that one down. I don't often write them down these days, but it was like I had to pay attention, because it was like, I have my plethora of like, this is the 5 or 6 different types of dream space and how to interpret them. I'm like, well, this is another category that I don't understand yet. Wow. Any thoughts around like?
I've only ever got like single track dreams. I have pretty crazy dreams. I'm always like this, some sort of a superhero in these dreams. I'm leading some sort of a revolt. I don't know. I'm having a good time though. And yeah, most of my dreams are adventurous, and I wake up thinking that was amazing. And then I very quickly forget what the dream was about, which is a shame. Sometimes I wish I could record my dreams on a DVD, because you would love to watch that, all of you.
Yeah. Can you organize that, Tony? Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine you could record dreams. That'd be crazy.
Oh,
Imagine
so
if you
good.
had a device that could project your dreams, like a dream projector.
Projector.
Yeah.
So like you go to sleep, Anna, and we all come to your house and we
Yeah.
sit
And
there and
watch
we
the
popcorn
movie.
while you go to sleep.
Live streamed.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah, that's being very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Oh well.
And then
Yeah, because you don't know what genre is coming. There could be a bit of porn in there. There could be a bit of, right?
You know what, Donovan? There would be a lot of food in there.
Cake.
I
Chocolate.
just have to say this. The other day I was talking to someone and he's like, oh, I just don't know what time I'm going to be. I'm going to hang out with my mates. And it's like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care. And he's gone, oh, I'll just have to see what Nick and Dale says. I'm like, well, is Donovan going to be there? Like, remember? I just had to say that because as you guys were talking, because I felt like it was a dream, but it wasn't a dream. It happened in real life. And he said he was hanging out with his mates, Nick and Dale. And I wanted to say, is Donovan going to be there?
And when Anna was telling me that story, I was so confused. I was like, how does he know Dale and Nick?
I'm trying to picture who it is right now. I thought it was actually someone we knew.
No,
So
no
did
one
I.
knows.
It's funny though. I'm like Jonathan.
Oh,
I'm like John.
so official.
I
Thank
don't
you,
remember.
Nicholas.
Yeah, I don't remember my dreams. Right. I know. I know. I'm certain they're there. But the
Get off.
last few days.
Get off.
I'm sorry, Nick. I was joking.
No. It gets better. I'm improving. The last few days, I've been feeling like I need to start consistently recording them because when I do, I won't remember them when I first wake up, but as the day progresses, I'll go, oh yeah. So like, I mean, most of them have been nothing much, but I did have a dream about James Mellons. And
Ooh,
that was
romance.
why,
Why
hey,
you licked your lips?
in
then,
all
towards-
honesty, you know what? I could do far worse. If that were the context of it, I'll tell you what, I'm okay because he's a good style of a guy. I'm just saying, he'd make anyone happy. Yeah, and that's what got me to ring him and not ring him, message him and say, "Do you want to come
Wait,
talk
you
to
never
me?"
stated what the dream was about. You never at any point stated
I
what the dream
can't
was.
remember the context. I can just remember him in it.
Oh yeah.
Convenient, yeah. That's
Yeah, really convinced.
just.
Bro.
Let's just say I would not like to have my dreams recorded like you were talking about. I'd rather leave that. And yeah, but then the funny thing is he missed the start of the episode we're recording, and then he had all this synchronicity around deciding that he absolutely had to jump in late to the recording or the live. And there was a synchronicity with the round table. He'd been having various things going on. And the fact that it was named just the live round table was like really significant to him. So I don't know what that was. I haven't told him he visited me in my dream, though. I probably won't. He might not come back on. I might leave it.
Just leave it on a public live stream right now that he might.
Yeah, forgot about that part.
Always raw and authentic, Nick.
Yeah,
Always.
no filter.
No.
Most people would call it Tourette's. For me, it's just me.
Let me bail Nick out here. So on the whole dreamscape thing, I've been taking this thing called lion's mane, a mushroom extract. Anyone heard of that?
Yeah,
Lion's mane?
I was. Yeah, but I've heard things about it which made me stop taking it,
Such as?
like really high sex drive. really
Well, then
increases his
balance.
drive.
You got to balance that shit out. Then you got to do some breathing exercises. You need to recirculate
We've had
that
this
cheek stuff in your
conversation
base
before.
chakra. Get
That's true. We could use the energy. All right.
yeah.
Noted.
But yeah, your dreams will be crazy. Like that, it goes next level because it's like for lion's manes for memory and recall and clarity and stuff like that. And yeah, it makes your dreams so vivid and more extravagant. Yeah, I recommend it. My sex drive's been fine though.
We can tell that with the art you've been doing out in the wild.
You do
Yeah,
do
I've
a
been
lot of
channeling
breath
into
work though,
art.
Johnny.
What's that?
You do a lot of breath work though.
Oh yeah, you don't have to do that much. You know, there's some exercises. There's some really simple ones, like literally 2 minutes, and you can recirculate that energy. I have to do it every day. You know, I'm a bloke, and I'll be honest. If living in this world, every second Instagram post is skin. You know, it's putting it for a guy. It basically stimulates the brain, and boom, you charge up your base chakra. And most guys, they'll spend it, you know, and progressively it's not good for you, and really there's a lot of power in keeping it at the best you can. Yeah, so
It is
find
different
it
for men and women though, isn't it?
I wouldn't know. I've never been a woman.
Well, you probably have.
Well, not
Exactly.
in this incarnation.
Not in this song. Okay, cool.
No, but I don't know. I reckon it'd be worse for guys.
Yeah, I've heard it's more it affects men more than the women. Donovan's nodding.
Well,
he concurs.
it's like a 6K run every time.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's equivalent to a 6 kilometer run every time you expend.
Yeah, you get drained after it.
There's a whole bunch of dudes going.
Now, aren't we?
There's a whole bunch of dudes going. I've been running marathons.
Brings a whole new meaning. Brings a whole new meaning.
I'm an
drain
athlete.
Drain the swamp, doesn't it?
Can I just say, this live tonight is feeling very masculine.
You needed one more female.
No, I think Alisha and I got this.
Really embracing my feminine energy, so I've got enough for more than one. I've been baking cookies all afternoons. That was a first for me. I just want to bring out, I'm just having a look at the comments now, and Trisha said, I dream about babies on a regular basis. I just want to throw that one out there because I had a giving birth dream 2 nights ago, and I've spoken to a lot of people, predominantly women, who've been having dreams about babies or pregnancy or birth. Anything comes to mind for you guys? I know, Donovan, you're like nodding your head.
Well, obviously you can move to your typical dream interpretation, which is new beginnings, birthing something, right? Starting something new. You can go there, but what on a deeper energetic level, it's been feeling for me, because I've had some similar dreams about pregnancy and birth and stuff in the last, maybe a couple of months ago. It was really feeling to me like there is a bunch of souls waiting to enter this incarnation, and what I guess I would call New Earth children, right? And they're just waiting for the right energetic portal to enter. It feels like to me. And then there are many people having experiences where they've either just had a baby or they've got some very young children, and they're showing signs of working on a different frequency, a different dimensional consciousness. So to me, it's like if there's a big ramp up of people dreaming about that, it feels to me like it's actually a sign that the New Earth energies are really starting to be birthed and come right in.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. So that's just my input.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I don't know if, does anyone else have any other input before I go on my little tangent there?
Yeah, I might squeeze in because you can go a while with this. Just the birthing of new energies. I know last year I was like, no, I'm not having a baby again. But I went to a womb weaving workshop, and I'm getting these crazy energies in my womb at the moment. I don't think it's an actual baby, but more like the birthing of energy. Alisha knows this. I don't really want to talk about it because it's a bit scary, but I wonder how many other women out there are feeling that. Like, especially the ones that have gone through the clearing of, of themselves, and now they're feeling these energies in the womb. And how many are going to birth beautiful energy?
Yeah, I actually have been having that conversation. It's been coming up quite regularly in client sessions and in the articles and things that I talk about, pregnancy and conception and holding energy for women. There's so many variants, each is very individual. Some will have new earth children, and some other women will birth energies like new earth energies, literally. I know I have done a few sessions on women where they've gone through these pregnancy symptoms. They've been holding this energy for a certain period of time. And when I've tuned into their energy field, I can see the earth, and it's like this new earth energy that's literally birthing through them. Before I go on my little tangent, Donovan, do you want to talk a little bit about what you're being guided to do, re planets and body? Yeah.
Yeah. So right off the back of what you said, Anna, the other day I finished my shift and it was really late at night. It was after midnight, and I just had this feeling I could feel Jupiter staring at me. Oh, the stars stare at me. All right, it's a thing. Just trust me on that. Jupiter's staring at me, getting my attention. I'm like, what are you looking at? Like, why are you trying to get my attention? So I'm like, I wonder where the other planets are. So I got my Skyview app out, and I'm like, let me check where all the other planets are. And in that instant, something just presented itself to me that I'd never done before. And I'm like, I'm noticing where the planets are sitting on the particular part of the body in the constellation that it's in. And I wonder how that might relate to the physical manifestation, personally and collectively, in the actual physical body. And as I sort of just felt into this, and I just felt to post it, it was really interesting because the moon was sitting right in the womb of Virgo. And this is only when was this? A couple of days ago, Alisha? I can't remember when I posted it.
3 days ago, maybe?
Yeah, about 3 days ago. And so we got Mother Moon sitting in the womb of Virgo, right? The Virgin. And it just suddenly just got me all this well, I wonder if women would be experiencing bloating, or if they're having bad memories about when they lost their virginity, or maybe they're experiencing some extra bleeding that they're not normally getting. And I just got downloaded with all this stuff, and I'm like, that was weird. And then I saw Venus and Mars sitting just off the paw of Leo, and it's like, oh, we've just got out of the clutches of something, right? And then I'm looking at Jupiter, and what was Jupiter sitting on the left thigh of the male? And I'm like, I wonder if blokes are going to start having sore quads and stuff over the next few days. Like, I don't know, but it was just really cool to me that I was just, I don't know, it's like that open space where you just get guided to look at things differently. And since then I've had a little bit of feedback, and it's actually kind of confirmed that some of that. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, you've just said about 3 things. I'm like, oh, I'll leave that for now. I'll just keep my hand over my mouth. But yeah, I'll definitely say that I'm really looking forward to following your exploration on that, because I think there's a lot to that.
And talking about expending energy, and we've had this conversation before in meditation, I've kind of connected with the idea that when the sun does a solar flare, it's like an ejaculation. I'm just going to come out and say it. It's like an ejaculation, right? The way that energy moves is just like when a male ejaculates, it builds up to a point, and then it just goes and it explodes out. And I've always correlated solar flares to looking and feeling like this surge of energy that's just like a male ejaculation. And I know you spoke maybe a little bit to Alexis Buck about that, but we just had a massive solar flare. What about that one?
We had a big CME, yeah, I know. You know what? That one completely sideswiped me. I'll be honest. I've been struggling a lot with fatigue recently and like being more in another dimension than this one. That's why I'm trying to master to be human and be really present. But it's like I go through these periods, and I've been in it for a fortnight now, where I know that I'm not all here. And like I'll be having a conversation, but I can feel the bleed over of where I was in my dream space last night throughout the day, you know. And I don't know where I was going with that. Just tapped out.
So what were you saying then, Donovan? And I'm glad, you know, a lot of people tiptoe about the whole sexual thing, and I mean, why? You know, it's part of life, really. So what are you saying with the solar flash? That how does that relate to ejaculation?
What I'm saying is what it feels like energetically. You know how we get a solar flare, and then those that are really sensitive to energies can feel this surge of energy come through you. And it's almost like the sun making love to the earth. It's kind of like the way it presents itself to me. So that when we have really high solar activity, it's almost like the plasma energy that's coming from the sun is literally birthing energy in our direction, or out in the cosmos, whichever direction it's headed. And it's like it sparks up something in our biology and our DNA and our consciousness. And this is why we feel weird after a solar flare and maybe feel exhausted. It's like we've just gone through a cosmic ejaculation sort of thing. And that's because we're taking on whole new energies and frequencies. That it's hard to explain because I'm still just kind of like getting that kind of information come to me. But yeah,
you know,
I don't know.
You know, what just came to me in that moment. I remember where I was going. But what's come to me in that moment is that something that I want to monitor and add to my like sort of like reporting, because you know how there's a big surge. We go through these cycles where, especially those in a like divine partnership connection, but not limited to, but there's this big surge of sexual energy, and it sort of comes and goes in waves, and not everyone will experience it at the same time. But I think it's really interesting to watch and observe, because I think it's like anchoring in new energies, right? And I was like, I wonder, I've never correlated that sort of sexual energy that is, you know, burning around certain souls in a collective at a period of time with solar activity. But I reckon if I start to observe that, I reckon that's exactly what's going on. Because talking about like the release and then feeling like you've run a marathon, that's what I was going to say. I was flat on my back for 2 days after that CME. My whole body was aching. Normally after sun activity, I get really sore legs, as though I've been working out at the gym when I haven't, I can assure you.
The marathon.
Yeah, exactly. But this time my whole body was sore. Like what I normally just get in my legs and my calves, it was my entire body. So that's, I'd love
That was a massive ejaculation, Alisha.
Left your legs weak.
She's wiped. You know, some people like to sleep, some people like to eat. I don't know, Alisha, you're just like, that you needed to sleep. I just want to quickly say, I just got a message from a friend who said, I think I know what Donovan is saying here with cosmic male ejaculations. So there you go. You might be onto something there, Donovan.
Oh, cool. Tell him to contact me and we'll have a chat. After Nick dreams about him. If that,
I already am.
Maybe Nick needs to do a round table with masculines and talk about cosmic ejaculations.
Actually, well, hey.
Talk about ejaculations.
You ready for that, Johnny? Week after next?
I don't want to blow it, I tell you.
Yeah. I love a pun.
Oh, man.
Man of the match.
It's all gone into the gutter today.
Yeah, this has become very in your face, hasn't it?
You know what? I'm so glad you brought this up, Donovan, because I vowed that the next roundtable that we did after World Unity, which is here, this is where we are, that I wanted to cover this topic like full on. And I forgot about it, and you brought it up, so I'm really grateful. But I want to bring it back to the I did talk about this with Alexis, and I was really surprised because I'd had this conversation with you and a few other people. And then when I had Alexis from Ascension Diaries on during World Unity Week, it came up. She mentioned it, and I was like, oh, there's someone else that thinks in that way. Okay, it's a thing, you know, there's more. And I haven't gone and investigated this, but apparently she mentioned that it's written in the Law of One. So there's a lot to it, and like to break all that down, this all ties in, and it ties into the next topic that I want to bring in. So I'm going to try and do my very best. A lot of people I know, and I speak to Alisha from Cacao on a regular basis, and she also sort of has this sort of mindset where, and I know I've had many conversations over the years, that a lot of people think that in, you know, divine partnership dynamics has a direct correlation to the solar activity of pairs coming together, pairs uniting or merging energies. If they have that resonance or come from or have an aspect that is a solar being, let's say, there is this sort of quantum entanglement that happens. And so, you know, over the years we've joked about how if, you know, divine couples came together in mass, what, you know, like the solar flash would happen and the world would sort of reemerge and rebirth itself. And I, once again, just being in my very human mode, trying to be very focused in 3D at the moment, I've had these like little, like you were talking about, Donovan, before, about like everything's kind of peaceful, and then you get like this 2-hour period of boom, 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 boom. And I had that the other day that was triggered. I thought about that, and it was triggered talking about the change in the financial system. So how, just so you can all follow me, how that all ties in is my first Ascension Solar Flash New Earth dream was around birthing. So we're talking about the dreams of women birthing in New Earth children. It had the solar flash, but it was also, so the order of it was energy or solar flash from the sun that then came over the earth, and then it started to make changes in the financial system and the government structures, and everything sort of toppled over like a domino effect. And so it's like that, bringing all of that in together. It's very, very fascinating. I could talk about this for hours, but I won't bang on, I promise. But well, this was going to be the Cosmic Gateway pound table tonight, so we've certainly upheld that level of you know, topic and commitment to that name. Thanks, Anna, for creating that. You'll see when
like it.
comes out. I like it too.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how you know, everything comes, in my opinion, everything comes back to the sun, and the sun and the earth doing their dance together, and how much beauty and change that it has the potentiality to bring onto this planet. But I do want to then, so I know we've gone over all these topics, but I do want to talk about financial changes, because that for me has been very, very topical of late. And someone sent me, actually my dad sent me something to listen to today, and it got me down a rabbit hole as I was cleaning the house. And what I was really taken back was there was this psychic, or, you know, seer, who had been remote viewing July and to do sort of predictive information. And she kept remote viewing July, and all of a sudden she kept getting hit with a white wall. And in that white wall, she couldn't get beyond it. She couldn't see anything else. Like, it was just this space, right, that they couldn't go beyond. And she finally was able to see beyond that. And what she saw beyond that was all the systems that we know, government, financial, all that was literally flipped on its head. Like it was how we've known it. It was the opposite. And I sat there and had a moment of awe, because I was like, I was seeing in sessions for July a white wall. And I love it when those little synchronicities pop up. It's like, oh, I saw that too. I didn't see beyond it, but I could feel into that in that moment. I'm like, wouldn't that be spectacular? But I want to put it out to you guys if that sort of sparks anything within you.
I've heard this a few times. And I've even heard another. And we're talking about July, like this year, like now.
Yeah, this month, right now. We're halfway through.
Okay. Did you get a date?
No. Don't be silly. Faith never come to fruition.
It's supposed to be a really big solar flash, and I think it's coming from Alcyon, the central sun.
When?
Talk to me, Johnny.
I want details.
This is secondhand information. I'm just heard there's something incoming between now and July next year. It's already hit like and Andromeda, I think it was, or Arcturus. And either way, there's planetary systems that are already getting hit by it currently.
Wow, awesome!
So it's already on the way. You can't stop this.
No.
And if you thought the energy from our sun's going to birth something new here, this is the one. That was just softening the blow for what's coming.
Don't get me so excited when you talk like that.
I love it. I love it because it's interesting. What did occur to me, Alisha, when we're talking about the financial systems and what you're saying, Johnny. Greg Braden's book, when he wrote the Divine Matrix, or it was one of his other books, and he spoke about the crashes of the financial system back in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And he was correlating that to like when 9/11, when they could measure the Schumann resonance peaking just before 9/11 happened, right?
Yeah.
And how the consciousness affects the markets, and I know there's a lot of talk at the moment about the crypto market and the new ones that are about to come online, like the Flare network, which is actually designed to benefit we the people rather than the old paradigm system of a hierarchical structure where the people at the top get all the money and the rest of you, you struggle and you do your best, but you're never going to make it that great. It's about unity, and it's about looking after each other and making sure everybody has enough. And it's very energetic. And I've heard a lot of people talking about there's some energetic catalyst that's going to sort of kick that off. And the Flare network they keep putting out a date that they're going to launch, but they're kind of holding back. And I almost feel like they're waiting for some cosmic energy or event for that to actually kick in. So it'll be interesting to see that. Yeah. And Jace Calezza, kudos to him for educating about that during World Unity Week with you, Alisha. Jace Calezza, Alexa Buck's partner, talking about the crypto markets and Flare network. Yeah, really interesting.
It is super fascinating.
Who knows what's coming, eh? Who knows?
Yeah.
So what do you think, Alisha? Do you think there's a big event on the horizon?
Damn it, Johnny, don't ask me this now. I've been feeling it for years. So I can almost say with certainty for my own experience and reality that yes, there is. When? How long's a piece of string? I think that the time frame is constantly in flux. But it just reminded me, I've been doing a lot of connecting in and meditating in very high dimensional spaces and then sort of grounding that energy. And I've been doing that for a while on like a daily practice for me. And so when I get taken in, I often go in and I see it's very spontaneous. I don't go with an intention or anything like that. But when I go in, I often get taken in and shown a lot of things. And one of the things I was shown the last few days was how accelerated everything. I think I did a post about it. I mentioned some details in a post recently about how accelerated everything is right now because of this energy that's pressing in on the planet. And what's been repeatedly in my mind is, I reckon I'm taking better care of my body than I ever have in my entire life. And I can honestly, like, hand on heart, say that. And I feel like I'm preparing my body for something big, and that my body has to be strong and prepared to be able to withstand and go through that. And I think that acceleration in what we're experiencing on a collective level is due to the fact that people need to be prepared for this. You know, people do need to be prepared for this energy influx that's increasingly getting stronger and stronger. And we get squeezed, and that's very uncomfortable, but it's designed that way so that we can be in the best shape that we can be for this event or these sequence of events. And I think the energy comes first, as always, and then it changes the nature, the fabric of reality. So on all levels, financial, governmental, like, you know, everything. That's my personal opinion.
That's a really good point, B, because, you know, you hear of people, and look, I did as well last year, but we ended up eating all the food, so I need to do it again. Yeah. You know, stocking up on food, having your own water tank, I guess, to prepare for any shortages with food and water, and I guess being more sustainable. But I guess it's just as important to prepare your body for what's to come, and not just, you know, the resources. And there was actually a big focus on this last year. I remember March, April last year, we were talking a lot about it, you know, doing the physical cleansing, the energetic cleansing, so that your body can hold more energy. And that's kind of gone to the wayside now, hasn't it? I feel like that's gone to the wayside, and there's not much of a focus on it anymore.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to keep going.
Yeah, but I should go get more food and not eat it.
Always comes back to food, doesn't it, Anna?
Yeah.
Always.
Can I tell you guys something really interesting about that? So I've been prepping because I've just been, like Alicia's saying, you can feel something's coming, but it could be like 2022 for all I know. I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's no harm in doing a bit of prepping, you know. But a few friends of mine who are very, very, you know, very connected, and live a very healthy lifestyle, a lot of them had been guided to go and move rural, like late last year or late 2019, before it all kind of kicked off, right? And to be honest with you, if you're living off grid at this point and you've got your own water tanks, you're growing your own food, you're self-sustainable, you, considering the potential shutdowns and cyber attacks, as Klaus Schwab would like to say, and if that stuff happens, you're going to be in the best position of anyone, right? Absolutely the best position of anyone. But I think we're all put where we need to be. I don't think that that's the answer for everybody necessarily. But something that just, I don't know why I'm having this memory. When I was studying Raja Yoga when I was 14, and we used to talk about a time at the end of the Kali Yuga cycle, right? So the golden age, the silver age, the copper age, and the iron age, and then you've got the confluence age, which is the now time, which is the transition back to the golden age. And they believe it's a repeating cycle. So like wheels within wheels, like Ezekiel's vision, but whatever, it all correlates. But we used to talk about what we'd call, you know, destruction. So the destruction of the old paradigm. And one thing that they said we used to talk about that is apparently was a sign, I think Mother Shipton, she was an Australian psychic channel way back in the, I think 1800s or something. She said, watch the Indigenous people, and if they start to move to the center of the continent, you know the time's coming close. And I just had that memory, just as you were talking about the food and the body and everything, Anna, about watching the movement of the Indigenous people. If they gravitate, even just for an event or something, that they gravitate and feel that need to unite and be together physically, which is we've been witnessing that, like Uluru, the big Uluru activation that happened, remember, last year, was it?
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing sort of versions of that. But the other thing I've been feeling is that, like, I'm not the healthiest, right? I don't eat fully, I'm not vegan, I'm not vegetarian. I was when I was studying Raj Yoga and stuff. But I feel like this recent time, I've become more aware of what my body needs, and become more aware of, you know, I can feel what's good for me and what's not, even though I might not be doing the full typical textbook healthy thing. But you just got to listen to your body. And I've been guided recently to really get into like vitamin supplements, which I've never done, which just happens to be a good cure and preventative for the thing that we don't want to talk about as well. But I feel like maybe even if you're not living the healthiest lifestyle, that you actually, the vibration of the planet is naturally getting people to tap in a little, like get a bit more aware of their body than maybe they had been in the past anyway. And you just kind of know when you need to eat, when not to, when to eat shit, when not to, you know. And I think that's also related to the cosmic weather as well. I don't know. That's, yeah. Sorry.
I love that.
There.
I love that, Donovan, because I've been saying that because I eat chocolate. Johnny, every time he comes, he's like, mate, diabetes. Like,
how's your diabetes
Johnny,
going?
Eat the chocolate. Eat the chocolate. But I don't follow any certain diet. But what I do is conscious eating, and there's no rule around it, but going by what feels right. And what I find that works for me, because I think if I had a book or someone telling me that I can only eat gluten-free, or, you know, I mean, meat, I've become pescatarian lately, but that's not because I woke up one day and said, I'm going to do it. I didn't obey. I was just like, oh, I don't actually feel like eating meat. So that's still going by my own intuition. But if I wanted to eat tomorrow, I would. So I think each person, you know, instead of following one strict rule of, you know, be vegan or be gluten-free, conscious eating.
100%.
And plus, it's so much better for you.
Yeah. I'm a big advocate for that. And I mean, for me, I mean, 2 days ago, I was craving kale. So I had to go and source some kale and work out how to cook it. And then
you've got kale in your backyard, Alisha.
Yeah, but
Alisha has a veggie patch in her backyard that she needs help harvesting, which we should do this weekend, actually.
Can we do that
Maybe
this
she likes
weekend?
that GMO stuff.
Yeah. And I paid $5 for a few, you know, branches of kale. Anyway, irrelevant. I think this weekend's a harvest weekend. Oh, it's Galactic New Year. I do want to come back.
The harvest.
Ooh.
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 But then today,
We are in
like,
the time of the harvest.
the demand was chocolate chip cookies, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that again, because like the last time I bought some, they were gone really quickly, and you know, and so I was like, well, if I bake them, then that's okay. If I bake them and make them myself and pour my love into them, then if I eat an entire tray of them in one sitting, then that's okay. So, and then tomorrow it might be, I don't know, what else do I have in my backyard? Beetroot?
Beetroot, kale, you got heaps of goodies.
Silver beet.
Silver beet. Oh my God, I love silver beets. Oh, yum.
Anna, you should go and flog her vegetables, because she's clearly not making use of them. Just steal them. She wouldn't even know.
No, I made a promise.
We did this last year, Johnny. We did the first harvest, and we actually had to find out from people what some of them were, because we didn't know what they were. We didn't know what was weeds.
You guys need a horticulturist on hand. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, Donovan. Get down here. We need your expertise.
I'll give you the Latin names. I'm sure they'll turn into synchronicities. Oh, that's funny. Actually, that talking about Latin names and synchronicity. Sorry, I'll just go off subject here for a minute. We're talking about dreams before. So last night I had a dream about this. I was shown this Egyptian like these villages that were in these like mud caves, and they're all curved and they're all caves, but there were whole villages of people all living in unity and harmony together, sharing food. Oh, that's why I thought of that. Sharing food, and some people were, you know, sharing clothes, and it was this like holistic community. And there was these massive mounds. Think of like termite mounds, but massive, right? And curved caves, and everyone's living in these curved caves. And I went up to this guy, and he gave me some sweet tea, and then apparently I was going on a mission to find a cure for something, and then there was a donkey, and the donkey turned into a bear. That's a whole nother story. But when I tried to describe this to Debbie, she said, well, what did it look like? And I said, it was kind of like the Olgas. So I looked up the meaning of the word Olga, and it means holy. And I did not know that. I didn't know that, but I know that for some people that, I mean, I'm sure that's a sacred site, right? That's certainly our continent. But it was really interesting, and how people were sharing food. They were all sharing food, and they all had enough. And it was an Egyptian. It was definitely, I knew it was Egypt, because I'm droning over, in my dream, I'm flying over looking at this thing. And it was this whole holistic community of people sharing their food. You love that, Anna, right? Sharing their clothes. And I was just like, oh, have I just been shown where we're headed? Like, this is where we're going, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry to change the subject. I shouldn't have changed the subject, but yeah.
No, you can change the subject anytime, Donovan. No, I'm getting close to the camera because your connection was a bit wobbly when you were talking about it. So I was trying to hear everything that you were saying.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, but just to circle back, Jen Psaki, the thing about the food for me is, I agree, conscious eating is, to me, like it's about the approach you have, because everything has life force energy in it. Even no matter how dead the food is, it's still got life force energy in it, right? To some degree. I believe it is absolutely 100%. Like when I cook meat, I bless it. Yeah. I thank it, and I tell it, you know, any pain that you experienced in your lifetime, in your incarnation that created this meal, I thank you, and I release that energy for you, and I send gratitude and love to the animal to make sure I'm taking in the vibration of gratitude and love from that sustenance. And that's why I don't stress too much about, you know, textbook diets and all, you know, what's the healthiest. I got really obsessed with that for a while, and it's just a freaking rabbit hole you never get out of, you know.
Yeah.
I've come full circle and truly believe that you should eat what feels good to you, but do it consciously and vibrationally, you know. Yeah. That's how I feel. I agree. What about you, Nick? What? Nick hasn't talked.
I'm just watching and learning. I'm listening to the masters ply their trade, holding space. You know, you guys know this. Everyone knows this. I'm just the placeholder. Five in the thing. Beautiful. Looks good. You know, but no. I mean, I totally agree, because I've done the whole diet thing. You know, I have to eat this much protein, made all my meals, measured. I've measured my food to the gram for months on end. I mean,
you'd be the type to measure your food.
You can end up a large human when you do that. You really can. But it takes a toll. But I totally agree with everything you guys say. And even from a scientific point of view, they can do DNA tests and find out the ideal diet for each individual human, because we're all different because of, you know, our ancestry and things like that. You know, certain places in the world, they might have eaten more fish. Some places they might have eaten more red meat, some vegetables. So there's 100% not a one size fits all, and it's very dangerous.
Yeah,
to go down that track. Yeah.
I actually had my friend. I didn't know this, but my friend Tash actually said that Asians generally should have a diet of fruit and vegetables.
Well, that's why I predominantly eat fruit and vegetable then.
Yeah. Well, and it's a very yogic thing to consume a lot of fruit as well. But we get told, no, you shouldn't consume fruit because of the sugar. But like a lot of people in in yoga circles consume a lot of fruit, and even in some cases a lot of juice, which we're told not to do. Yeah, apparently it's
This
very
is what
good
I mean.
for the body.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I think consciously eating, like if you connect with your food, say, is this for my highest good? You'll feel it. And if you don't feel it at that time, after you eat it, you'll feel it if it's good for you or not, you know? When I was just starting to cut out meat, I'm thinking, oh, I don't feel like it, but I forced myself to eat it because I cook for the 2 children. What am I going to do? Cook a separate meal? I do now, but you know, I'd eat the meat and it gave me the worst tummy pains. So then you start to say, is this going to be for my highest good? And if it is, then go with it. But I just want to go back to Alisha saying, you know, that's why she eats lots of fruit and veggies. And this is an ongoing joke between us two because she's a quarter Chinese. And I said, please don't ever claim you're Asian because you're white as hell. But she is actually a quarter Chinese.
And I just like staring at her.
Wow, I did not know that. Wow.
That's a bit racial, but all right.
Well, when I first met Alisha, and she's like, "Oh, I'm actually a quarter Asian." I'm like, "What? Blondie over here?" But she showed me photos. She's really her grandma.
Yeah, I did. I made her sit down. I brought out the family albums, and this is this person, this is this person. Yeah. No, true story. My great grandfather came out from or what is known as Canton, now is Guangzhou. Was leaving China with his brother, and they, as the story goes, they got separated at the docks. He got on the wrong boat and ended up in Australia, and he was meant to go to America, and him and his brother got separated. So yes.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, I won't go
Did they
down.
ever find each other again?
No, I don't think so. He settled here in Australia and had 10 children. Yeah, and my grandmother was one of them, the youngest of. Yeah. So
at least when the CCP invade, you might be okay. They might spare you.
Right.
After they do the swab, genetic test it.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm one of you. Stop. Oh yeah.
I'm one of those people. I consider myself very much a chameleon, and I think that every time I've traveled, I kind of like blend into the culture, and it's always baffled me and puzzled me because, you know, obviously by the way that I look going into some cultures, I don't blend, but I think it's an energetic thing. I think you can like energetically blend with a culture and environment, and then people just think that you're one of them. So that's some advice that I'll give everyone if the CCP do invade.
You know,
if we ever get to travel again.
I was pondering today that because like I'm acutely aware that at some point it's not going to matter where you've come from, where you've been, because with every single generation, it's all getting diluted. And I mean the eventual end game is that we're all one integrated humanity, because we'll be that mixed, and it's our natural evolution, right? It's going to happen. So all these terms of I'm from here, my ancestry's from here, it's at some point it's just going to be irrelevant. I've been on a couple of racism. I was on a panel for a university, Ubiquity University, a couple of weeks ago, and there was a lot of talk about racism, stuff like that. And I find it frustrating because it's like the most ridiculous thing ever. And one day it's going to be completely irrelevant anyway. One day you just won't, it won't be a thing. Like it can't be a thing.
You know what, Nick? My kids don't notice races. Like they don't have racism.
Yeah. Yeah. The girls are very similar. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me.
Well, you're teaching them all wrong.
Although Although I always say that by the time my kids have children, if I was to go in public with my grandchildren, I'll probably look like a hired nanny. Because they're going to be really white.
They might
I'll
marry
have to
an
wear-
Asian.
What's
They
that?
might, if they could marry an Asian, then you're fine. You'd balance back out again.
They could. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Johnny said the other day, actually, he was here, and it's like basically everyone's going to look like me eventually, like being a mix.
Caramel.
Caramel.
Yeah, a little caramel world. And it's great. Then you go in the sun, don't have to put any sunscreen on, you know. Well, you probably do, but no, you don't. You don't need to wear sunscreen. You don't get burned. You feel great. I'm just saying, it's you'll see another 100 years. This.
That makes me very happy.
Yeah, me too. I'm down for that.
There's so many things I could say right now.
Me
I don't want to incriminate myself. I'll just. But but you know where my mind went in terms of like this fusion or melting pot of race. Like I agree with you, Nick. Like, you know, in my world, racism it's the most absurd thing. And then I think, how are people who are still in that level of consciousness, and I believe that there's probably more than not on this planet right now, how are they going to cope with like the integration of galactic beings onto this planet if they're still bickering with other human beings because of color of skin or, you know, whatever? How are they going to cope with like blue skin Arcturians? Like, just saying.
It's going to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, I don't know. Yeah. Awesome.
I would actually like to have blue skin. I think blue skin would look good on me. I'll go with that.
Actually, you know what?
Maybe
Maybe it'll fight you.
It probably would.
Maybe my grandchildren are going to have blue skin.
Yeah.
Well, that's a possibility you haven't considered until tonight. So ponder on that. Dream of.
Oh,
I reckon we paint you blue, Anna.
What?
I reckon we paint your face blue and see how that looks.
Maybe we should do that for the cacao ceremony. You can paint me blue and.
Perfect.
Oh, Nick.
It's party.
You're having a party. It's looking good. Speaking of the cacao ceremony, Anna and Jonny, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because we've got coming up in this next week, we've got a couple of events coming on. We've got the Galactic New Year, which is coming the day out of time, the Mayan day out of time, Galactic New Year, which is coming up. Nick, say that color, that pink really.
I'm struggling to turn it off now. I broke it.
You're looking a bit pink, mate.
That's not
There we
You
go.
look like a Smurf.
same.
Can't take you seriously.
Oh my god, that's so
That's
awesome.
the color of my galactic self. That's why I said, can you please leave it?
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Nick. You've just made my night now.
Hey, it's staying now. I can't send it back to normal.
Good.
Love it. Love it.
So I've got a transmission, I think this Saturday at 11 a.m. Which is with Arcturians. It's my first transmission that I'm doing with the Arcturian healing team. So we're doing a deep purification in preparation for Galactic New Year to sever energy streams, cords, you know, you name it, just to really purify, to be able to prepare us, you know, what we were talking about before, prepare us, our bodies for what's coming. And on the Saturday, do you guys want to share a little bit about what you're doing?
Well, actually, on the Saturday, it's a full moon.
Oh,
And then on the Sunday,
Awesome.
the Sunday, the 25th, is a Mayan day out of time. And then Monday, the 26th, is a Galactic New Year.
Thank you, Anna.
So that's a big fucking weekend.
It's a big weekend. It's a big party weekend. did you want to share a little bit about Sunday or?
Yeah, sure. So Johnny and I will be co-facilitating a cacao ceremony together. In our heads, there's no lockdown and it's going to go ahead. Please follow me this way. It's going to be held at Mindful AF, which is going to be in Emerald. Amazing place. Shout out to Amy for her amazing work there. Ashley, I have the...
What does the AF stand for, Anna?
Oh, mindful of fuck.
And Nick.
Which
The most incredible centre. You should see it. The view.
I've seen
is
the pictures.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. Yeah. So Anna, keep going with that. Where were we going with that spiel?
So it'll be Sunday 2 till 4 p.m. There are actually only 2 or 3 spots left. Pretty exciting actually. Like, you know, Alisha and I, we always talk about this, the right people will show up. And I just feel like I was looking at the list today, Johnny. I'm like, oh, fucking some great energies coming in that day. So that's going to be amazing. So yeah, to book, basically you can have jump on, contact me or Johnny, Vitraya page. I'm losing words. What's going on?
I'll put all the details in the description box below if you want to email Ana Vitraya to get more details or to join. I will put the details in the description box below.
Only for those who want a very high consciousness event, very high vibrational. It's going to blow the roof.
Yes.
We did some test runs the other day, and Johnny and I like, whoa, what happened?
I showed Nick as well.
Yeah, this is magic.
Oh,
yeah, it's going to be magic. I can confirm that. It will be magic.
You should move to Melbourne, Nick.
You know what? I was.
You were going to bootleg.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to bootleg that Johnny's part of it. We can't do anything. Yeah. But no, even that tape. No, seriously though, like I said to Johnny before, he gave us a little sample, and I was talking to one of the guys that was on it today, and we were like, wow, how good was that? So that's going to be epic. But we know it will with you guys anyway. The minute I saw it, I was like, man, that's awesome.
Is it worth skipping lockdown for, Nick? Hey?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'd just skip lockdown because I want to, but.
Don't worry, it's safe on this side.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Just paint yourself blue and go to Melbourne.
The common cold can't stay in the same vicinity as cacao, so there can only be one C word.
Yeah.
Oh, that is true.
I'm so excited for you guys though.
Johnny actually, when I first met him, called it Cacao Powwow. Do you remember that, Johnny? First time we went out hiking, Cacao Powwow.
Yeah, it's got a certain je ne sais quoi about it.
Okay.
Right, and I made another name for the conscious men. It was woke blokes.
That's actually no, that is you're a marketing genius.
So there's plenty where this came from. Better, keep going, guys. So.
Maybe you do your spin-off. You'll start your own. You can bootleg that.
Woke blokes, but we wear tights.
Yeah. Tights again.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there again.
You know what? Men should never ever wear tights.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I've seen guys in the gym wearing tights, and
nah.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Trust me. Yeah.
No.
I think if you've got good legs, I mean, I can't.
No, Johnny. No,
my legs don't rock tights.
No, I'm with Anna. It should be illegal.
I used to be a personal trainer, and men, yeah, they do have nice quads and nice glutes and nice calves, but in tights, it's like, dude, don't do that. That's not cool.
Oh man, I love rocking the long johns in Canberra. Long johns are awesome.
Long johns are different. Long johns are different.
Well, not that much different, really.
Not when it's all you're wearing.
Not in silhouette form. They're pretty much the same as tights.
I'm trying to save you here, Donovan. Stop it.
Oh man, you guys have absolutely made my night. I don't even know where to go from here, honestly. But I think we've been going for a pretty solid hour and a half. So I just want to thank you. I don't want to keep you all. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Your contribution, your joy, your laughter, your humor, your insights and downloads and sharing, personal sharing. And thank you everyone for being on the live stream with us. I am going to get round to looking at the comments. I've kind of scanned them and come back and tried to have a look and see who's on. So thank you everyone for joining in on that. Thank you for everyone who's watching on YouTube. I will go and upload this to YouTube now. What are you guys giggling about?
I just pictured Johnny going, "Screw you guys, I'm out of here." Yeah.
You told me it was only going to be an hour. That's my dinner time.
It's funny the story that you had in your head and the story that I had in my head. It's like, hang on, I'm going to quickly put my tights on.
and so he comes back and his legs in the air like that.
Cute pajamas, Nick. Sorry, B. Sorry.
You've inspired me, guys, to go out and buy a pair of pajamas now. So, Johnny's back. What's your tights?
I'm back.
Johnny, you missed
What
it.
did I miss? What did I miss here?
We were laughing about you.
Not me.
Yeah.
I could not even hear anything. There was no sound coming through.
Oh, well, you missed it. Then you're gonna have to watch the replay.
Oh no. Great.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe when you do that.
Oh, excellent.
Before we go, I just have to say, Johnny, there's something going on in your energy field. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but twice I've looked up at you and there's like color orbs that are flashing on your face. It's sort of like pink and purple.
Are they good? It must be the sparkle coming off my aura or something.
It's all that tight wearing, you know.
And the breath work and the tights.
Yeah, well, that will do it.
Guys, once again, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for being here. Mwah. Sending much love. Until next time, we do another impromptu live. Catch you soon. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See you guys. Bye.